Hello students, once again welcome back to English Literature Classroom. Today I am going to explain the chapter To Build a Fire by Jack London. Now, it's a very long chapter, okay? You all know it. So I am going to explain only the main points, okay? It's just like a summary, okay? Come on, let's start. Now, this story is written by Jack London. Clear? Jack London was a 19th century American novelist, journalist, and a social activist. Okay? To Build a Fire, published as a short story in Lost Phase in 1910. It tells of an unnamed man and a dog in the Klondike region of the Yukon in northwestern Canada. Clear? Now, let's start the story. An unnamed protagonist planned to travel across the Yukon Territory. Okay, now it was a story about an unnamed protagonist. Okay, now what was his plan? To travel across the Yukon Territory in temperature 75 degree below zero, though initially estimated a 50 degree below zero. Okay, initially estimated that the temperature was 50 degrees below zero. Okay, the man was a newcomer in this land. He was without imagination. Clear? The man was a newcomer and he was without imagination. He was traveling on foot to join his companions at an old mining camp on a distant fork of Henderson Creek. Okay? Henderson Creek. Okay? Once again, I'm telling he was traveling on foot. Okay? That man was traveling on foot to join his companion. And where was his companion? At an old mining camp on a distant fork of Henderson Creek. Okay? Henderson Creek. Okay? He estimated his arrival time to be 6 o'clock in the evening. Clear? Now that man estimated that his arrival time would be 6 o'clock in the evening. The man's only companion in Yukon wilderness was a dog. Okay, who was the man's only companion? It was a dog, a big native husky. The dog was guided by its instinct and realized that no one should be out in such tremendous cold. Look, the man did not realize it, that it's so cold, we should not go there. The man did not realize it. But the dog realized that one should not go out in such a tremendous cold. Okay, by the side look, I have written some important point. The story tells us of an unnamed man and a dog in the Klondike region of the Yukon in northwestern Canada. Clear? Let's continue. Now, the man encountered several traps on his way. He was well aware that there are dangerous winter springs that never freeze and run under the snow. He used his intelligence and alertness to avoid these traps. Clear? What did man do? He used his intelligence and alertness to avoid these traps. At 12:30, he arrived at the forks of the creek. Clear? At 12:30, he arrived at the forks of the creek. Pleased with his speed, he was sure that he would reach the camp by 6. Okay, the man was very sure that he would reach the camp by 6. The man sat down on a snow-covered log to eat his lunch. Okay, where did the man sit down? On a snow-covered log, okay, to eat his lunch. He took out his lunch from under his shirt. Look, from where did he take out his lunch? From under his shirt. And in the course of few seconds, he realized it was very cold. Clear? Look, another important point I've written over here. The man is a Chichaku or a newcomer to the region. Clear? Let's continue. Okay. Now, the man then built a fire to thaw himself before he could eat. Okay. Man built a fire. The man ate his lunch and made use of his comfort time to fill his pipe for a smoke. The man resumed his trek, which disappointed the dog, as it longed to remain near the fire. Look, the man resumed his trek and it disappointed his dog. Okay? What did the dog long? The dog longed to remain near the fire. Clear? After half an hour of resuming his trek, the man broke through the ice himself. He wet himself halfway to the knees. But this did not frighten him. Look, the man was not frightened. It angered him as it would delay him by an hour. Okay? Look, by the side I have written, the man was accompanied by a dog. Clear? It was a wolf dog, grey-coated and not noticeable, different from its brother. Clear? Let's continue. Now, the man built another fire to dry his wet fire. Okay, the man built another fire to dry his wet feet. Sorry, not fire, wet feet. Okay, I pronounced wrong. The man built another fire to dry his wet feet. He felt safe and confident in his ability to travel alone in the Klondike after 50 below. The man had built the fire under the tree, whose boughs were laden with snow. Clear? The man had built the fire under the tree, and the boughs of the tree, boughs means the branches of the tree, were laden with snow. Disaster struck as the fire was put out when the snows descended upon the man and the fire. The man realized that the old timer on Sulphur Creek was right. Okay, what did the man realize? That the old timer on Sulphur Creek was right when he advised that one should only travel with a trail mate in Klondike in this weather. Man decided to rebuild the fire. Clear? What did the man decide? To rebuild the fire away from trees. He gathered dry grasses, tiny twigs, worked methodically, but his numb finger could not help him further. Okay, his fingers were numb. It did not help him. Okay, look, by the side I've written some important points. The man realized that if he had a trail mate, he would have been in no danger. Clear? Let's continue. Now, let's continue. Okay. Now, somehow he got hold of the matches and tried to light them. Okay. Anyhow, he got hold of the matches and tried to light them. He turned his flesh in the process, and when he could endure no more, he let the matches fall into the snow. He could endure no more. Okay, he let the matches fall into the snow. Man then thought of killing the dog. Okay, what did the man think? Of killing the dog and warming his hand in its carcass, but he realized his hands were too numb to kill it. Okay, the man wanted to kill the dog, but what did the man realize? His hands were too numb. Okay, he could not kill it. Once the man realized that his death was approaching, he panicked. Okay, now the man started panicking. Why? Because he approached that his death is very near and ran blindly. Okay, now the man ran blindly, hoping to feel better and reach the camp. Look, by the side I have written one important point. Man realized that the old timer on Sulphur Creek was right when he advised that one should not travel with a trail mate in Klondike in this weather. Clear? Now, let's continue. Okay. All the time the dog ran with him. Okay. All the time the dog ran with him. Warmth and security the dog experienced angered him. At last, after all vain attempt, the man resigned to his fate. Okay. After all attempts, okay, man resigned to his fate. He thought of sleeping off to death, and in his drowsiness, he had visions of himself and the other boys. Okay, in his drowsiness, he had a vision of himself and the other boys finding his dead body next day. The man died. Okay, in this way, the man died. Okay, once again, the dog sensed his death. It moved forward in the direction of the camp. And after the death of the man, what did the dog do? The dog moved forward in the direction of the camp. Clear? Look, one important point I have written. The man died, and once again the dog sensed his death. It moved forward in the direction of the camp. Okay, up to this much. With this, I am concluding this video. In my next video, I am going to give the question answer of this chapter. Okay, in next video, I am going to give the question answer. Okay, until my next video, goodbye.